If you think you have time, you're wrong. If you think the people who matter will always be there, you're wrong. I know that because I'm 80 years old, and 6 months ago I held the hand of my best friend while he took his last breath. 57 years of friendship ended in a quiet hospital room, and in that moment I understood something most people don't understand until it's too late. Success isn't just money. Discipline isn't just waking up early. Strength isn't just pushing through pain. Real success is who stands beside you when everything falls apart. Real discipline is showing up for people when it would be easier not to. And if you wait to learn that lesson at 80, you'll live with a regret that doesn't fade. My name is Robert, but everyone calls me Bob. I've lived long enough to watch the world change in ways I never imagined. I've buried my parents, I've buried my wife, and now I've buried my best friend. His name was Tom. We met in 1967, two 23-year-old kids working at a printing shop in Chicago, trying to look like we knew what we were doing while standing next to machines big enough to crush a man's hand without hesitation. We were nervous, we were broke, we were trying to become something. That first day, we barely spoke. Just two young men focused on not messing up. 8 hours side by side, the sound of metal and ink and pressure filling the air. At the end of the shift, he looked at me and said, "You want to grab a beer?" That was it. No dramatic music, no grand speech, just a simple invitation. That beer turned into 57 years. And here's what I want you to understand. Greatness in life rarely begins with fireworks. It begins with small decisions, showing up, saying yes, making time. Discipline doesn't just build careers, it builds relationships, it builds character, it builds a life that means something. Tom and I weren't extraordinary men. We didn't build empires. We didn't become famous. We built something harder. We built consistency. We built loyalty. We built a friendship that survived marriages, children, layoffs, funerals, mistakes, pride, and pain. In 1969, I stood next to him as his best man when he married Linda. In 1971, he stood next to me when I married Carol. That's how it works when you commit. You don't drift in and out of people's lives. You stand there, solid, reliable, present. We had Friday night dinners every week, no matter what. You think that's small? It's not. That's discipline. That's consistency. That's saying, no matter how busy life gets, this matters. Most people don't fail in life because they lack talent. They fail because they lack consistency. They let small commitments slide. They let friendships fade. They tell themselves they'll make time later. Later becomes next year. Next year becomes never. Tom and I worked together for 12 years before the shop shut down. When that happened, we could have drifted apart. Different jobs, different schedules, different pressures. But we didn't, because we made a decision without even saying it out loud. We don't quit on each other. When my father died in 1985, I remember standing at the funeral feeling like the ground had disappeared beneath me. You don't realize how much you lean on your parents until they're gone. I didn't need a speech that day. I didn't need someone telling me everything would be okay. I needed someone steady. Tom stood next to me, put his hand on my shoulder, and didn't say a word. That's strength. Strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's just standing there so someone else doesn't fall. In 1992, his son got into trouble, serious trouble, ended up in jail for a year. Tom carried that weight like it was a stone in his chest. He blamed himself, thought he'd failed. I looked at him and told him something he had once told me. You do your best. And sometimes life still hits you. Discipline doesn't mean you control everything. It means you don't give up when things go wrong. His son turned his life around. It took effort. It took humility. It took facing failure head on instead of running from it. And Tom was there for him every step of the way. That's what consistency does. It gives people a chance to rise again. When Carol, my wife, got diagnosed with breast cancer in 2008, my world narrowed to hospital rooms and quiet fear. I was 64 years old, and I thought we had more time. We always think we have more time. We fought. She fought harder than anyone I've ever known, but cancer doesn't negotiate. The day she died, the house became a place I didn't recognize. Silence echoed. Every room felt wrong. I didn't want to leave the couch. I didn't want to answer the phone. I didn't want to exist in a world where she didn't. Tom showed up every day for the first month. He brought food I barely tasted. He sat across from me while I cried like a child. He didn't tell me to be strong. He didn't rush my grief. He didn't try to fix what couldn't be fixed. He just showed up. You want to talk about discipline? It's easy to show up when life is good. It's hard to show up when someone is broken and you can't fix them. But that's where real character is built. That's where self-belief is strengthened. Because when someone stands by you in your lowest moment, you start to believe you can survive it. I went through a dark period after Carol died. I questioned everything. What was the point? My kids had their own lives. My career was behind me. The future felt smaller every day. Tom wouldn't let me disappear. He'd knock on my door and say, "Come on, Bob, we're getting lunch." I didn't always want to go, but I went because he believed in me more than I believed in myself. Sometimes success isn't about climbing higher. Sometimes it's about refusing to sink. When Linda died in 2013, he called me at 3 in the morning. I could hear the emptiness in his voice. I drove over immediately, found him at the kitchen table staring into nothing. I sat beside him just like he had done for me. No speeches, no solutions, just presence. That's mindset. That's emotional strength. You don't crumble because pain arrives. You face it. You sit in it. You endure it. After that, our Tuesday and Thursday breakfast became sacred. Same diner, same booth, same order. Pancakes for him, eggs and toast for me. It might sound ordinary. It wasn't. It was structure. It was purpose. It was two old men choosing consistency over isolation. As you get older, you realize something powerful. Routine can save your life. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's repetition. It's commitment. It's doing the same good thing again and again, even when nobody applauds you. We talked about everything and nothing. The weather, the Cubs, politics, old stories. But underneath all of it was something deeper. We were reminding each other that we were still here, still breathing, still mattering. Last year, he started forgetting things. At first, it was small, repeating a story, misplacing his keys. Then it became harder, forgetting dates, getting confused about conversations we'd just had. The doctor said dementia. I watched fear enter his eyes in a way I'd never seen before. Tom wasn't afraid of hard work. He wasn't afraid of struggle. He was afraid of losing himself. And that's when the real test began. Discipline isn't only for youth. It's for decline, too. It's for the days when showing up hurts. Some mornings he didn't recognize me. Some mornings he looked at me like I was a stranger. But I kept going. Tuesday, Thursday. No excuses. Why? Because loyalty doesn't depend on convenience. It depends on commitment. 6 months ago he had a stroke. 2 days in the hospital. Machines humming. Nurses moving quietly. I held his hand. His grip was weak, but it was still him. I leaned close and told him it was okay. That he had done enough. That he had been enough. When he let go, it felt like a chapter of my life closed with a sound I could hear inside my chest. And here's the truth that hit me harder than anything. He was the last person who knew the young version of me. The 23-year-old kid at the print shop, the nervous groom, the grieving son, the broken husband. When he died, a part of my history went with him. You don't realize how much of your identity lives inside the memories of others until those others are gone. After the funeral, the world didn't stop. It never does. Cars kept moving. People kept laughing. The diner stayed open. But my Tuesdays and Thursdays became empty. I wake up some mornings and for a split second I forget. I think about grabbing my jacket, heading to breakfast. Then reality settles in. And I sit there staring at the quiet. My kids tell me to join a club, meet new people, and maybe they're right. But here's what they don't understand yet. You can build new connections, but you can't replicate 57 years of shared struggle, growth, failure, and resilience. That kind of bond is built through time and effort, through discipline, through choosing each other again and again. So what does this mean for you? It means stop waiting. Stop postponing the call. Stop assuming you have decades ahead. Success in life isn't just about what you achieve. It's about who you become and who you keep beside you. If you're building a career but neglecting the people who would stand beside your hospital bed, you're building the wrong thing. If you're chasing money but ignoring loyalty, you're chasing the wrong victory. Self-belief doesn't grow in isolation. It grows in community, in friendship, in shared battles. Tom and I weren't perfect. We argued, we disagreed, we had stubborn streaks. But we never quit on each other. That's the difference. Winners don't quit on the things that matter. You want discipline? Start with your word. If you say you'll be there, be there. If you say you'll call, call. If you say someone matters to you, prove it with time. Because one day you'll be 80, and you'll look back, and you won't care how many emails you answered. You won't care how many promotions you got. You'll care about the people who stood in your kitchen at 3 in the morning when your world fell apart. Pain is inevitable. Loss is guaranteed. But regret is optional. I regret the small moments I took for granted, the Tuesdays I almost skipped, the calls I almost didn't make. I thought we had forever. We didn't. Nobody does. But here's the powerful part. Even in loss, there is purpose. Tom taught me something through his life and through his death. He taught me that consistency compounds. 57 years doesn't happen by accident. It happens through daily decisions. You don't build a meaningful life in a single leap. You build it in small, disciplined steps. One breakfast at a time, one hard conversation at a time, one act of loyalty at a time. I miss him every day, but I'm grateful that I showed up, grateful that when his memory faded, mine didn't, grateful that in his final hours he wasn't alone. If you take anything from my story, let it be this. Be the person who shows up. Build your body if you want. Build your business if you want. But most of all, build your character. Build your reliability. Build your word. Because in the end, success isn't measured by applause. It's measured by presence. I'm 80 years old. I have more years behind me than ahead of me. But I still wake up with a decision to make. I can sink into loneliness. Or I can honor my friend by living the way he taught me to live. Consistent, loyal, present. Every Tuesday and Thursday now, I don't go to the diner. Instead, I call someone, an old coworker, a neighbor, my grandson. I choose not to waste the time I have left. That's mindset. That's resilience. That's refusing to let grief turn into bitterness. You are not guaranteed tomorrow. The people you love are not guaranteed tomorrow. So build something that lasts beyond achievement. Build relationships that withstand time. One day, someone will hold your hand in a hospital room. The question is, who will it be? And will you have earned that presence through years of showing up? I held my best friend's hand as he left this world. And even though it broke me, I would not trade those 57 years for anything. Show up. Be disciplined in your loyalty. Be relentless in your consistency. Believe that the small moments matter. Because they do. They build a life. And when your final chapter comes, may you be able to say you didn't waste your time. May you be able to say you showed up for the people who mattered. May you leave behind not just achievements, but stories. Not just success, but significance. That's the legacy that lasts.